Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here for WeAreChange.org, and we are live. We're going to be doing a lot more of these live streams, folks, and we want you to get involved in the comments section. Are live. You have your own voice here. That is the point of this. Now, we have a few big stories to go over, and one that I think is going to be huge in the libertarian community, but also even in kind of like the conservative community that has not embraced Bitcoin, because they have now said, and when I say they, religious leaders in Egypt, the Grand Mufti, and I hope that I'm not being a little too pretentious in this, but he has put a fatwa on Bitcoin. A fatwa on Bitcoin. For those that are unfamiliar what a fatwa is, well, back in the day, a fatwa was put on Salman Rushdie for writing the Satanic Verses, which was a criticism of the Muslim religion, Islam, and the Quran. And now they've basically said you can't have Bitcoin because it undermines the state. Okay, and I hope that I say this person's name right. It is Shaki Alam, and he is Egypt's Grand Mufti. And Egypt, you know, has really come under more and more Western influence since the Arab Spring. So you have to wonder whether or not this is a covert attempt by intelligence agencies here to move away from Bitcoin. You know, to try to get people to get away from cryptocurrencies, when most of us understand, at least right now, that cryptocurrencies are absolutely exploding, folks. They're exploding. And they've allowed this program, you know, maybe not so much the live streams on YouTube, but the news reports, to do very well with other venues such as DTube and Steemit. And with all the censorship that has gone down, I mean, just look at our views, folks. Our views were much higher even a month ago. We're constantly being demonetized. And cryptocurrency enables this operation to not only continue on, but also to grow. And, you know, again, we want you guys to get involved in the comments section. We may be able to answer live in the future, but definitely going to be answering more and more over these live streams. We also have the daily drop that will be going on at 8 p.m. over at Facebook exclusively. And by the way, if you think that all flavors of radical Islam are the same, well, I got news for you. They're really not. Now, Fox News' headline here is ISIS offshoot declares war on Hamas in video showing execution of alleged collaborator. Well, at least they're saying offshoot, because we don't really know what's ISIS, what's Al-Qaeda, Hamas, very large terms. But can you imagine that now ISIS is going against the main group that opposes Israel and the occupation of Palestine? If that doesn't scream Western intelligence, if that doesn't scream Israeli intelligence, I don't know what does. Okay? Let's be honest, folks. The head of ISIS, I think it was al-Baghdadi. This is a guy that was in custody, that we had, that was in Guantanamo Bay, that was in the hands of Israelis. And then all of a sudden, he gets let go, and he's the head of this thing? I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and people are still buying it. And unfortunately, even the alternative media has now fed into a lot of this radical Islam, fear-mongering, in my opinion. I mean, that's what it seems to be to me. It seems like it's nothing more than fear-mongering. Again, high-level terrorist attacks in this country, have they ever occurred without the aid of government agencies? Ask yourself that very, very question. Look into 9/11. Look into the 93 bombing of the World Trade Center. Look into Oklahoma City. Look into the Boston Marathon bombings. These are real issues that people need to know, because the line is being blurred more and more and more, especially with the alternative media feeding into this, what I would call Muslim hysteria. And one more story for you. Seems like it's not just 5 emails on that Wiener laptop. Weird. Now, Judicial Watch, who has now had a two-year lawsuit, finally gets these about a week and a half ago. The State Department publishes some of them, heavily redacted, by the way, heavily redacted. And now we have at least 18 of these emails that were in possession of Anthony Weiner, that were in possession of Huma Abedin, that were in possession of Hillary's personal server that show they had classified information on them. I guarantee it's much more than 18. And there are many, many other things on these emails that are crimes beyond crimes. Just the classified information alone, most people would be going to prison for the rest of their life for treason. But when you're the Clinton cartel family, when you've been in business with the Bush family and the Rockefeller family for decades upon decades, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. And with that, I just want to mention one more thing. We are going to have a movie review that I've done on American Made. I finally got around to watching American Made. And, well, let me just say this about American Made. There are some points, and that's why I'm using this to kind of wrap it up with the Clinton. There are a lot of fabrications, a lot of sensational things in this film, and a lot of historical inaccuracies. But at the end of the day, they do mention George H.W. Bush, Oliver North, and even Bill Clinton. And it is an entertaining movie. Now, if you want the truth, I would suggest that you check out Daniel Hofsicker's work over at madcowprod.com and his book, Burying the Boys, an excellent expose on Barry Seal and his acquaintance with intelligence agencies for decades and a long time before the Iran-Contra scandal, folks. So I thank you for joining me. I'm going to go through these comments. I'm going to get back at you. I'll see you on the live stream on the Daily Drop over at Facebook in a couple hours. And God bless you all. Have a great weekend.